Next up, we have Lights, Camera, Action, Studiopolis Zone Act 1 from the Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Mania soundtrack, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, or return your news, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, the gaming channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream, members getting early access to the content. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. Also, at the time of recording, we recently passed 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you once again, everybody, for that. Two things. There's two ways we're going to be celebrating. Number one, I'm going to be giving away 10 copies of Vintage Story, and we're going to start checking out some of the games we cover with every milestone that we hit. For example, right now we're at 10,000. Until 100,000, it's going to be every 5,000 subscribers. We're going to be checking them out. More of this at the end of the video during that spiel. Other than that, let's go ahead and do this, shall we? Lights, camera, action. Let's go, Studiopolis. Let's see what you got. Okay, so we start with a bass synth. It sounds like the bass. A bass synth doing what is called a run. You can hear it, very, very fast going up the notes. Then giving us an initial melody, which could be our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. That run could also have it. Then we bring in the drums, and oh my god, it was so good to hear the drums with it. The drums not really going where you would expect them to go, giving you a little bit of that displacement over there, showing how important your rhythm section, your accompaniment can be. I get to mention it at the very beginning. It's been a while. So if you want to listen to an example of the accompaniment, like changing things around the main instrument to an extreme, listen to the intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. The intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater, insane. You have the guitar doing what is called an ostinato. Ostinato is when you play something over and over and over again. Right? The guitar is going for 1 minute straight, right? John, 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 John. 1 minute straight, and then around it you have the synth, the bass, the drums changing around it, and yeah, at some points it's genuinely difficult to tell that the guitar is still playing the same thing. So right now, to a less egregious extent, we had this. Let me go back a few seconds. Let's see. Let's hear that melody. Put me through the drums and. Yeah, okay, so now we introduce what is called a horn section. This ensemble horn section, right? A horn section is usually going to be two trumpets, one trombone, and usually one saxophone. You can mix and match these. The standard one is usually these. Different ensembles will have different numbers depending on what they get, right? So, in this case, the motif that was explored by, that was given to us by the bass is used by the horn section. This kind of ensemble, I would say, falls under the fusion genre, maybe funk. Funk fusion for this kind of stuff, really, really good. And the motif that we're getting from these, they're doing several things. Number one, they're engaging in syncopation. Syncopation is when you play against the beat or against your metronome. It's pretty clear to hear that. Funk has this a lot. Jazz has this a lot when you have a horn section. When you have those syncopated melodies, you very much gives you a very good sense of motion. Very fun stuff. Then we are having an inversion. That's how we start, with an inversion of the original motif. Inversion being when you play something upside down, at least in melody. You take a melody and you play it upside down, right? So if we were to have a melody like that, if we then invert it, it would definitely just bring it down like that. That is just an inversion. And if we just do that an octave above, and we do it very straightforward, we did some inversion and we also did some sequencing. Sequencing is when you repeat a melodic idea from a different starting point, right? So if we were to take this motif over here, if I were to sequence it, I just have to play the same overall shape just from a different starting point. That kind of thing. So, with that, we're having that happen. Let's see where this goes. Ooh, there's one more synth very high up. It's a little bit difficult to tell with everything else going on, but it's like a chime synth. Very, very high up, giving us a slower melody. I don't know if it's the motif itself. Let me hear a bit more. Okay, yeah, so first we now switch over to a piano, solo piano. This is fairly common for standards when it comes to funk, fusion, and jazz. The chimey synth does seem to be an elongation of the motif. Elongation is when you play a slower version of something, and in this case we're having this. And when it comes to jazz and funk and fusion, you have something called standards based on lead sheets. A lead sheet is a type of music score that is there to act mostly as a overall guide and not as a definitive sheet music that you have. This is the kind of thing that jazz players, funk players have come up with to not have to write for the entire ensemble. So let me see if I can find a picture of a lead sheet. Let's see a blue bossa. If I can find a score for it, right? So here we go. Here you can see more or less of one version of a lead sheet. Let me find something that is actually readable. Okay, here we go. This is from the real book. So here you can you please not? Can you please not? Thank you. So here you can see how this is very different music notation than you would see in a classical piece. Let me bring up a sheet music just to compare, right? Where do I have my sheet music? 1 second. Let me just bring it up. Here we go. Let's bring some Mozart. Let's bring some Mozart. What would I put? Here's Mozart. All right. Let's bring up I don't know, this one. Symphony in G major. Let's open it over here. So as you can see, it's very, very different notation than you would see in a symphony or in classical music. Here you have blue bossa, for example. Blue bossa, this is one of the most well-established jazz standards. We have a couple of extra symbols. We do have the regular sheet music over here with the main melody of the thing. This thing is in D minor, and here you have the notation with which chords you're supposed to play. And this is all you get. This is the entire piece. And what ensembles will do after this is that they will say, okay, we're going to play from measures here to here. We're going to play the melody, and then we're going to rotate solos. And then, oh, the pin is not there? I don't know about that anymore. That should be visible on the mobile. I don't know what to tell you. Either way, I say when requests are open, so at least there's that, right? So yeah. You can see over here that you have the different chords that you can be on. Yeah, jazz does get a little bit complicated when it comes to some of these chords. And the way that they do it is that usually when you have an ensemble, you will play the lead sheet as it shows once, and then you go through a solo chain, right? So right now, what did we do? It seems we went through the lead sheet, the first mention of the whole thing. Now the accompaniment is going to stay playing the same chords, and we are now bringing a solo piano to do its thing. This is a very, very, very common thing when it comes to jazz and funk, which is why you will see like this melody over here, right? Like blue bossa, what? What? Oh, right. Wait. Oh, no, we're not in D minor. This starts in A, right? So we have this melody over here. I'm already halfway through the entire melody of the lead sheet. But if you go on YouTube or anywhere and you search for Blue Bossa, and you go to Blue Bossa, yeah, every version, 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 8 minutes. Why is that? Because they engage in this whole thing of we play it once, and then we just go solos. Solos, 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 solos. Melody has me thinking of an old song. It's stuck in my head. I mean, that's Blue Bossa right here. So there might be other melodies that have that. So right now, we are probably going to keep the accompaniment as is, and then switching. We already have the piano. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so now we did switch things a little bit. We did bring another synth to play a slightly different rhythm now. But overall, we just bring a new synth to play the solos. And that's that. That's that. The bass is no longer doing the runs, but we're still trading solos. Let's see where this goes. A bit of modulation there. New synth. Okay, so now we bring a brief moment of a call and response over here. Call and response. Of course, being a musical conversation, you heard the trumpets going there first, and then the synth. One did the call, the other one did the response, and that is what we are getting over here. It seems we are following a lead sheet format. So yeah, this is a lead sheet, this is a score. This one over here, you can see the whole score. Over here, you can see all of the instruments in the ensemble, and this one is for symphony number 40. You know, that's this one, and then you have Blue Bossa. And this one, you can see that both of these are meant for the entire ensemble. Like this one over here is what the conductor would look at, and this here is what every single person in the ensemble would have, because this is how we played it back when I played it in the different ensembles that I've been in, right? So yeah, lead sheets are a cheaper way for jazz musicians and funk musicians to be able to come up with a lot of music, and a lot of it comes with just a lot of improvisation, which is something you don't really do in classical music. So those are kind of like the two extremes of music. So yeah, we have this now, and something else that is important to note is the groove that we are getting from the accompaniment. So something very common when it comes to funk and fusion is the idea of the groove. Groove is what happens when you don't really have any cohesive, unifying set of melodies or anything. Like each instrument is kind of doing their own thing, but despite all of that, all of these contrasting things just come together so nicely that they add up together, resulting in what is called groove. Now, groove is just a term that was used in the 1970s when the term came to be. Like, that's something about music. The term that the musicians come up with at the time becomes the term, and that's that. Like, the term just gets frozen in time, which is why we still use terms like tempo or like what else? We have piano, we have forte for loudness, for quiet and loud, tempo for the how fast your music goes. Groove has that as well, where this was a term very much used in the 60s and 70s, and it just stuck there. For translation purposes, groove is millennial speak for mood, which is Gen Z speak for vibe. Same exact term, it's just that groove was a term used back during the 70s, and that's what we get. So, let's see where this goes. Lot of syncopation. Call and response. Little bit of doublings there. So we had a little bit of a doubling over there. Doubling, of course, being when you have more than one instrument doing the same thing at the same time. And in this case, it seems like we did switch over. So we did have a brief moment of cycling through the solos, and now we're back to doing the next part of the lead sheet, so to speak. Let's see where this goes. Very nice call and response there. New version, a little bit slower. And just like that, we go back to the beginning. This is something that would usually, like if you see over here in the blue bossa, over here, you see this this thing over here, this symbol over here. This symbol is called segno. Segno means sign, sign. And somewhere over here, here you have playhead twice after solos, DS, and then you have this symbol over here. This symbol over here is called the coda. What does coda mean? It means coda. I don't know what else it is. But basically, once you reach this point over here, DS usually means da segno, which means you go back to whichever measure or whichever part has the segno sign, the sign. So da segno al coda just means you go back after doing however much you want. You go back to segno, you play the whole thing, and you end over here. That's what this means. So right now, we most likely had a da segno part over here, going back to the original part of the melody. So yeah, it seems like this particular piece is using lead sheet structure, which, as you can see over here, is not the most complicated of structures. Like, you have your main melody, then we're going around doing a couple of other things, and that's about it. And we just keep looping this until we run out of ideas, basically. Let's see where this goes. This is one-to-one. There's a chimey. Ah, really cool break over there. And it looks like we are immediately going back to the cycling of the solos once again, straight back to even the piano doing almost the same solo, because it worked. It was a good solo. Those voice clips were panned. I think so. Let me go back a little bit. Yes, those voice clips were panned. They sounded like Shadow. Like the actor for Shadow. But yes, those voice clips were panned. Panned or panning is a phenomenon that exists in audio. I mean, you can do this in many other mediums, but in audio, it means when you focus on one channel over another. Channels, a channel is the number of speakers. The number of channels that you have in audio is the number of speakers that your track is designed to be able to support. We have three main overall types of these. We have mono, which is single channel. We have stereo, which is the standard, which is 2 channels. And then we have surround. Surround that one gets a little bit more complicated, right? We have 3.1, we have 5.1, we have 7.1. Some of these, there are some out there that I think might have 9.1. There might be one out there that is 11.1. So the 0.1 stands for the subwoofer, the bass speaker. The only purpose of that speaker is to make the room rumble. And then 3 channels, 5 channels, 7 channels, 9 channels, 11 channels is how complex the surround sound can be. Now, when it comes to stereo has 2 channels. Why? Because we are human beings. We're used to 2 ears, left ear, right ear. So stereo usually has 2 channels, one for left ear, one for right ear, because, left ear, right ear, you have you over here all happy, deformed, and bald, therefore evil. So the way panning works is the amount of volume that you can dedicate to each channel. So let's say if you have a guitar track coming from the front, or a piano track coming from that sounds from the front, it means that the volume is full on both left and right speakers, and it just sounds like it comes from the front. Right now, for example, this piano over here is not panned to either speaker. It's just like that. Now, if you start lowering the volume on one of the speakers, the more you lower it, the further to the other side the audio is going to sound for the other speaker. And then you can start seeing, for example, over here, we can start panning it to the right in this case. You can hear that the volume on the left ear is slowly going down, and then we can do the same thing going to the left ear. That is basically how panning works, and in this case, it looks like we had a little bit of switching back and forth for these audio samples, giving it a little bit of extra texture. Let's see where this goes. Insane runs with that piano, dude. Same repetition as before, we switch over and we're basically just changing which instruments are doing basically the same accompaniment or the same overall accompaniment, at least playing the same chords and just allowing a new set of instruments to play. Almost the same one-to-one. It's so good. Like, this is one of the cool things about this kind of music, you know, jazz and funk, when it's well made and when it's fun to listen to. Oh my god, there's a reason why there's people that go to these concerts and a single piece can last like 10-20 minutes. Because of this. Because these are just so good. The groove is so good. And the fun of this is to see the musicians figure out their groove with the rest of the groove. It's so good to see this kind of stuff. Of course, the downside of this is that it has been co-opted by the what I call jazz holes. There's two types of jazz musicians. There's jazz cats and there's jazz holes. Jazz cats are cool. It's the kind of people that would make this kind of stuff. Jazz holes are the type of people that would end up making complete nonsense, and they over-intellectualize their music so much that they stop making it. Be wary of the jazz holes out there. Let's see where this goes. Cool little bit over there. There's some of the runs there. Cool little break there. Good transition. Call and response. And something else that is happening over here in these melodies that are making them sound so smooth is the idea of chromaticism. Chromaticism is when you borrow from the chromatic scale. In Western music, we have the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is all 12 tones of the that exist in our music. This would be all the white and black keys in the keyboard. This is going to be all 12 tones, and then from these 12 tones, you engage in the two smallest intervals. An interval is the distance between two notes. You engage with the two smaller ones, the half tone and the whole tone. The half step is just the keys immediately next to each other, and then whole tones is adding two of those together. So you engage in a combination of whole tones and half tones to create your scale. For example, the scale of C major, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, which is going to be all the white keys in the keyboard. You have all of these, which is going to be the formula of whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So you get whole tone, another whole tone, a semitone, whole tone, whole tone, whole tone, semitone, and as long as you apply this formula, it doesn't matter which note you started from, it is going to be achieved. Of course, I'm skipping a few steps over here, but we are having this, which means our scale is going to have these 7 notes, and if we engage in chromaticism, means we are borrowing from any of the remaining 5 notes. In this case, it would be the different sharps and flats that exist. By the way, a sharps, flats, and naturals, those are called accidentals. An accidental would be sharp, flat, or a natural. A sharp is going to be it looks like the hash sign, which means to bump a note half a step. A flat, usually represented with a weird letter B, which is comes from the word bemol, which is to take something down half a step. And then the natural, this one I actually have to draw because there's no key for this, which is this little thing over here. That is basically if you have a sharp or a flat existing, natural undoes it. That's what the natural does. These are the three types of accidentals you can get. So in the case of chromaticism, if we were to apply chromaticism to the scale of C major, we would be using sharps and flats. And what chromaticism can do is that it allows you to smoothen out the melodies that you're doing. So right now, what we're doing is we are having these kinds of scales. This kind of scale over here. And instead of just going over here, and that sounds way too much like the... I mean, it is technically... But ignoring that aside, engaging in chromaticism just means you're borrowing notes from the chromatic scale to smoothen out the melody that you're doing. And right now, that's what we're hearing with the second to last note of each of these phrases. French guy and GC and WR, welcome today. How y'all doing? So yeah, let's see. Only Twitch is being shown as Evan. Remind me after the video I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna have to reset it. Anyway, with that, let's see where this goes. Alright, how's it gonna end? Because there we go. We go back to the top. Alright, we have the Daseño again. And it seems this time we did a Daseño al coda, where we're skimming past a good chunk of this, I think, to get over... Oh, no, we're just bringing to the outro over here. Let's see, little variation there. How's it gonna end? I guess this is gonna fade out, probably. We do the sensible thing and give it the obvious ending over there. We build that cadence, and there you have it. That was really fun. There you go. Lights, camera, action. So yeah, we have that final note. And this is you see what I mean when I say that fade outs are simply not acceptable? We have this moment. This was just a repetition of what happened in the middle of the track, but it's there. You just put it there and it's the ending. It's a perfect ending. It's a perfect ending. You can have an abrupt ending like this. And this is from Sonic. And that's why I have a pet peeve against fade outs. Because you can just end your track. So yeah. Anyway, there you have it. That was Lights, Camera, Action, Studiopolis Zone Act 1 from the Sonic Mania soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, at the time of recording, we recently passed 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, so once again, thank you for that. I do not take this for granted. I am grateful every single day for this. As a way to celebrate, we're going to be doing two things. Number one, I'm going to be giving away 10 copies of Vintage Story. Vintage Story, of course, used to be a Minecraft mod. Now it's its own standalone game. I prefer it over Minecraft, so we're going to be giving away 10 copies. This is going to happen over on the Discord server. Discord server linked in the description, so make sure that you've joined. The giveaway is going to happen on the second half of February. 10 copies, and of course, I am hosting a server for this that you will be able to join with that for Vintage Story. So yes, we're going to be doing that, and number two that we're celebrating is that starting with 10,000 and every 5,000 after that, we're going to start checking out some of the games that we cover. The first two games that I'm going to be covering are going to be Just Shapes and Beats and Limbus Company. This is going to happen in a couple of weeks. So by the time that you watch this video, it's going to be probably like the following week, so that we give everybody a fair shot. And the recordings are going to go, the VODs are going to go to the gaming channel, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, make sure that you join the Discord server linked in the description. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, videos going up in the channels, updates, projects, and the giveaways. Also, we have the community there. That's where we hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, and where I host, as I said, the Vintage Story game server. I built a computer just to host it, so Yeah, there's that join the Discord server linked in the description. Also share these videos with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. Also use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, linked in the description. So another reason to join the Discord, go help the channel grow. Yes, musicians, artists, or otherwise on YouTube or elsewhere. This is an open invitation. If you want any of my musical skills for any of your projects, whether it is my guitars, Mongolian throat singing, the little kind of thing, regular singing, voice acting, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's work together, let's collaborate, let's make stuff, right? And if you're in the audience and you know somebody that you would like me to collaborate with, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone, be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. That's around up to 1 week in advance, so become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim from Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. Another reason to join the Discord. So, if you live in Jiu and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings. When they happen, the VODs for them recorded live during the main channel's after show, and the recordings go here. This is where the recordings for the JSAB and Limbus Company are going to go through. So, linked in the description, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And, yeah, there you have it. Lights, Camera, Action, Studiopolis Zone. That was really fun, dude. Really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. But, yeah, let's move on.